Hello everyone. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's horrifying yet crucial to discuss, a forgotten chapter in the history of World War II, where not just soldiers and spies, but doctors and nurses became agents of death. It's the disturbing tale of Aktion T4, the Nazi program that turned medicine into murder. In the early 20th century, the pseudo-science of eugenics began to gain popularity in both Europe and the United States. Rooted in the belief that the human gene pool could be improved by selective breeding, eugenics was initially presented as a scientific means of promoting the propagation of desirable traits and eliminating undesirable ones. The term eugenics was coined by Francis Galton, the British statistician and cousin of Charles Darwin, who argued that just as physical traits were clearly inheritable, so were mental and moral qualities. His work found a receptive audience among those who saw in it a path to societal utopia. This line of thought influenced a wide range of policies, from immigration laws designed to keep out inferior groups to sterilization programs aimed at those considered mentally or physically deficient. As the 1930s unfolded, Germany found itself in a precarious situation both politically and economically. The Treaty of Versailles had levied crippling reparations and territorial losses, and the German population was increasingly dissatisfied and politically polarized. The Great Depression exacerbated economic difficulties, leaving millions unemployed and fueling resentment towards the existing democratic government. In this climate, the National Socialist German Workers' Party, Nazi Party, rose to power, with Adolf Hitler appointed Chancellor in 1933. The Nazis combined extreme nationalism with anti-Semitic ideology, blaming Jews and other minority groups for Germany's problems. Once in power, they moved swiftly to consolidate control, silencing dissent through censorship, intimidation, and violence. Eugenics found a particularly receptive audience in Nazi Germany, where it dovetailed neatly with existing ideologies about racial purity and the need for an Aryan master race. The Nazis used pseudo-scientific eugenic theories to justify sterilizations, euthanasia, and ultimately genocide. Aktion T4 was an extension of the Nazi regime's obsession with eugenics and racial hygiene. Officially authorized in 1939, though initial steps had been taken earlier, the program aimed to exterminate those deemed life unworthy of life, a category that included individuals with mental and physical disabilities, chronic illnesses, and severe psychiatric disorders. The program was the brainchild of key figures in Hitler's inner circle, including Philip Bohler and Dr. Karl Brandt. Operating initially in secret, Aktion T4 was a blueprint for the industrial methods of killing that would later be employed in the Holocaust. The program involved forcibly euthanizing victims by gas, lethal injection, or forced starvation. Special killing centers were established, equipped with gas chambers disguised as shower rooms. Medical professionals were complicit in this, often determining who would live or die based on superficial examinations and falsified medical records. Aktion T4 didn't emerge from a vacuum. It was the result of the twisted ideologies and calculated decisions of key individuals within the Nazi hierarchy. Adolf Hitler, the architect of the Nazi regime, signed a euthanasia decree in October 1939 that effectively launched the Aktion T4 program, although steps were taken earlier unofficially. In the document, he authorized certain physicians to carry out euthanasia on those deemed incurably ill. Although not made public, the decree was a seminal document that initiated mass murder on an administrative level. Philip Bohler, the chief of the Chancellery of the Führer, was given the administrative responsibility for Aktion T4. Bohler coordinated efforts to identify, transport, and ultimately exterminate those who were considered unfit for life. He worked closely with Dr. Karl Brandt, Hitler's personal physician, who was instrumental in designing the medical aspects of the program. Brandt was a staunch advocate for euthanasia as a form of mercy killing and played a pivotal role in enlisting medical professionals to participate. Medical professionals were not merely passive participants in Aktion T4, they were active collaborators. A disturbing number of physicians, psychiatrists, and nurses lent their expertise to design and implement the program, betraying the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm. Doctors were involved in the initial identification of those who would be killed, relying on hastily filled-out questionnaires and cursory medical examinations to make life and death decisions. Psychiatrists also played a crucial role, contributing to the diagnostic criteria that determined which mental conditions were deemed unworthy of life. Medical staff at various institutions prepared the lists of those to be transported to killing centers and often falsified death certificates to cover up the causes of death. Before the official inception of Aktion T4, early experimentation took place in the guise of medical research. Lethal doses of medication and starvation were among the methods initially used to kill those deemed unfit. These initial killings were often carried out in secret in hospitals and asylums, away from the public eye. One of the most haunting aspects of the Aktion T4 program was the coordinated effort to transport victims from their homes or institutional settings to one of the 6 killing centers across Germany and Austria. The term grey buses became synonymous with death, as these unassuming vehicles ferried thousands to their grim fate. The buses were often painted grey to look inconspicuous and were fitted with tinted windows to prevent onlookers from seeing inside. Patients were often told they were being relocated for special treatment, a lie that kept them compliant and unsuspecting. Once gathered, they would be loaded onto the buses under the watchful eyes of medical personnel, SS men and police. The vehicles would then travel to killing centers like Horrifying, Sonnenstein, or one of the other designated facilities where the euthanasia program was carried out. Arguably, the most chilling aspect of Aktion T4 was the children's program, which specifically targeted children with disabilities. Special pediatric wards were set up for the express purpose of murdering young patients through medication overdoses or starvation. Doctors and nurses who participated in this phase would often label the deaths as the result of natural causes to avoid suspicion. After the fall of the Nazi regime, numerous individuals involved in Aktion T4 were tried for war crimes and crimes against humanity. However, justice was often inconsistent or incomplete. Some key figures, like Karl Brandt, were tried and executed, but many others faced only minor sentences or were able to evade justice altogether. We've come to the end of a deeply unsettling journey, a journey through a twisted maze of ethics gone awry, medical oaths shattered, and lives lost. This was not an easy story to tell, nor is it one to forget, and it shouldn't be. The tale of Aktion T4 serves as a reminder that when societies abandon their moral compass, the unthinkable becomes reality. Thank you for joining me on this somber exploration. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and above all, stay human.